all the BRICS leaders came up very strongly in condemning terrorism in all its forms and manifestations. And you can see that being reflected in not just one but several paragraphs of the declaration that has been adopted, where the leaders have strongly condemned terrorism, and then they have also been able to identify and acknowledge the pernicious, the deleterious effects that certain terrorist organizations such as the Haqqani Network, Jaish-e-Mohammed, Lashkar-e-Toiba and others have had, and TTP others, that have had in terror, in spreading terror across. The leaders also called to make United Nations counter-terrorism framework more effective. The BRICS leaders called for greater efficiency in designation of terrorists and terrorist groups by UN committees, and for dismantling terrorist bases, of preventing movement of terrorists, of terror attacks that had taken place that were deplored all over the world, including in BRICS countries. They called for a comprehensive approach to fight against terrorism. And in countering terrorism, they did refer to radicalization, recruitment, movement of terrorists, blocking terrorist financing, money laundering, supply of weapons and drugs, and countering misuse of internet. There was also a reference to swift and effective implementation of the UN Security Council resolutions on terrorism, and to make the implementation of the FATF standards on terrorism more effective, and called on states to prevent financing of terrorist networks and terrorist actions from their territories. So these are very important outcomes. For the first time, you would notice that there has been such a specific listing of terrorist organizations, and the fact that a UN Security Council, that BRICS countries should work together in facilitating listing of these under the UNSC. So those are very important developments in collectively fighting this scourge.